Coming up, the Republican-backed state budget proposal is moving forward.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The House version of the state budget cleared the House Appropriations and Revenue Committee today. The more than $120 billion budget includes increases in education, health care, and infrastructure spending, but it spends less than Governor Beshear's proposed $136 billion budget. Grayson Passmore heard from both Republicans and Democrats on some of the key issues.
Education was once again a key item on the $124.8 billion House budget proposal that passed through committee Wednesday. This proposal now includes amendments to add more funding for school transportation, which, according to Representative Jason Petrie, would be fully funded by fiscal year 2025 to 2026. Next, the proposed $6.4 billion investment into the state's SEEK funding increased by about $40 million over 2 years. The per pupil figure would increase by 4% in the first fiscal year, then 2% in the second fiscal year, according to Representative Kim Banta.
Allowing local districts to utilize local revenues in other priorities areas such as increasing salaries, improving educational programs, addressing decreased enrollment, and strengthening core instruction to improve student academic outcomes.
Governor Andy Beshear's proposed budget suggested an 11% guaranteed raise for all school employees and universal pre-K. Some, like House Minority Caucus Chair Sherilyn Stevenson, say House Bill 6 still is not doing enough to help teachers or students.
It's definitely not going to bring our teachers up to what we consider a living wage, and many superintendents are actually saying at the end of the day they're going to be receiving less money altogether. So that's a huge piece. We were still sorely disappointed that there's no universal pre-K in this, and there's also not money for child care funding.
Both House Republicans and House Democrats say they expect continued lengthy discussions when the budget is brought to the House floor. At the Capitol, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
Republicans say a separate bill puts nearly $1 billion into pension funds. It also provides $150 million for water projects. The budget chairman says more money could be added in separate bills. State Senator Chris McDaniels is proposing a constitutional amendment to limit the pardon powers of the governor. It comes after controversy caused by former Governor Matt Bevin. In his final days as governor, Bevin issued dozens of pardons and commutations. Senator McDaniels previously filed the bill in 2020, but it did not pass. He says this time the bill will be filed as a constitutional amendment and would be added to the ballot for voters to decide on. The full House approved a bill that would, quote, require moments of silence or reflection at the start of each school day. House Bill 96 passed 79-17 this afternoon. The bill's sponsor says it would help students by giving them time to decompress before getting the day started. Opponents say it is too close to requiring prayer time during school. It will now head to the Senate for consideration. Nurses and other healthcare workers would not have to worry about criminal charges for mistakes on the job if a bill passes in the General Assembly. Kentucky lawmakers in the House Judiciary Committee advanced the Healthcare Worker Immunity Bill this morning. It would include such things as accidentally giving a patient the wrong medicine, but it does still leave the door open for civil or other consequences for negligence.
Where they've been reckless, where people make intentional engage in intentional misconduct, surely they should be criminally culpable, and this bill doesn't change that in any way. So we want to make sure in Kentucky that we codify, put into statute that a nurse or any healthcare provider will not be won't be charged criminally for a mistake that they've made.
This bill easily passed with 18 yes votes, and 2 lawmakers chose to pass due to concerns about some of the bill's details. The bill is set to go on to the House floor on February 8th, which is recognized as Nurses Day. Several new bills filed in Frankfort today would change access to abortion care here in Kentucky. Samantha Valentino has more on that.
Our trigger ban on abortion fails to recognize the many reasons that parents seek reproductive care, including abortion.
That's why Representative Lindsey Burke says she filed 3 bills on Wednesday. The first is called the North Star Bill.
It rolls us back to the access that should have and has been available in Kentucky over the last decades.
The Maternal Mental Health HANDS bill would require the HANDS program to provide families with information about maternal and postpartum depression. And the SHIELD bill would protect any parent who has to travel outside of Kentucky for either an abortion or medication-based abortion.
That she doesn't have to worry about someone in Kentucky pulling her medical records, subpoenaing her, suing her, prosecuting her for taking care of her health and the health of her loved ones.
If someone did do this, Burke says the bill would allow the woman to sue them for violating her civil rights.
On a whole, we're adamantly opposed to efforts to re-legalize abortion in Kentucky.
David Walls with the Family Foundation says as they stand today, Kentucky's laws protect the lives of both mothers and unborn babies.
Not only are lives being saved, but more births are happening. And that's something that we should be celebrating. And again, I think at the end of the day, my hope is that Kentucky's going to continue to chart a path forward and not look to chart a path backwards.
In Frankfort, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
All 3 bills have been filed. They must receive a committee hearing to move forward. The woman at the center of federal criminal allegations against a former Northeastern Kentucky Commonwealth's attorney testified in court today. The Herald Leader says Misty Helton testified that she had sex with former Commonwealth's attorney Ronnie Goldie while facing court cases. Helton testified she sent explicit photos and videos in return for help on several criminal cases. Several judges, an officer, and a public defender out of the 21st Judicial Circuit testified against Goldie. The trial is expected to continue through the week. In Laurel County, the London Police Department is asking for the public's help tonight in finding a burglary suspect. The person pictured on your screen, and they appear to be wearing a mask, is believed to have been involved in a burglary on East 4th Street. If you have any information, contact the London Police Department at 606-878-7004.
We are tracking some dry and chilly weather across the mountains as we close out your Wednesday and close out the month of January. Let's go to the radar real quick. You can see we are dry, but those clouds are hanging tough for most of us. But notice in the Cumberland Valley a little bit of a clearing trend, and that will continue as we go into tonight. Also by Thursday, all thanks to high pressure that is sitting over the region right now. Some more dry weather is on the way by Thursday, and more sunshine is on tap by tomorrow as well. Those current temperatures are cool. Most of us in the middle to upper 30s, up to 37 for Pikeville, 38 in Jackson, and 36 over in Pulaski County for Somerset at this hour. Most of us wake up in the upper 20s and lower 30s as those clouds continue to clear as we go into late tonight. So you will need that jacket as you wake up and walk out the door on Thursday. But your forecast on Thursday looking really nice. We are dry once again under some sunshine. Those temperatures also warmer. We go from the 40s on Wednesday to the middle 50s by Thursday, and possibly even warmer as we go into the weekend. All those details coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Cameron, thanks. The recent Kentucky power rate increase has made having an energy efficient home more beneficial than ever. And energy efficiency is one thing that the Housing Development Alliance focuses on as they build homes for low-income folks as well as flood survivors in the 4 counties it serves. HDA Executive Director Scott McReynolds explains some of the details that will be part of a new home being built for a flood survivor here in Perry County.
We really focus on the thermal envelope of the house. That's just making sure the house is as airtight as possible and that the exterior is well insulated. And so in addition to using as much insulation as possible, we use a lot of caulk, a lot of glue. We actually frame with 2x6s instead of 2x4s so we can fit a little more insulation.
Aside from building energy-efficient homes, HDA will also add efficiency to homes through its home repair program. Perry County School Board members are looking into locations they believe can best suit the new South Perry Elementary. The elementary school would consolidate Viper Elementary and R.W. Combs Elementary. Administrators have recently looked at Scuddy Branch as a potential location, but a final decision has not been made. Superintendent Kent Campbell says the school is needed.
It's a new facility, everything being energy efficient, brand new everything. So I mean, that's just, you know, a significant upgrade from the, you know, previous two buildings that they're in right now.
Campbell says there is also no timeline for when a decision will be made or when the school will be built. He says the new school will house more than 600 students. Today is the last day of National Radon Action Month, and the American Lung Association is urging everyone to test their homes for radon. It's an odorless, invisible radioactive gas, and it could be seeping into your home unnoticed. It can cause lung cancer. According to the American Lung Association, the gas is responsible for 21,000 deaths each year nationwide. Radon is formed from the breakdown of uranium in our soil, and it can get into your home through cracks, crevices, and openings in the foundation. Well, the annual WYMT Winter Blood Drive was a success today. Kentucky Blood Center officials say more than 20 people donated in just 4 hours, producing at least 19 units of blood, and that exceeded our goal. We want to thank everyone who came out and donated. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, independent pharmacies in Kentucky face hardships, with some contemplating closing its doors. The challenges and community impact next.
Plus, we are tracking some sunshine to kick off February. Your first alert forecast after this break.